Hello, I'm Dr. Danita Hedgman with the Moments on Waiting talk show. This show is about encouraging people to be more prepared, productive, and wise during their waiting period. Each week, we will focus on different topics from my book, While I Wait, that will give you solutions to the waiting journey. Now, today's topic is waiting until marriage. Now, I know it's very hard for people to wait to have sex until marriage, so we're going to have a powerful lady to share with us about her ministry or her community organization called Build a Wall. So let's welcome to the set Mrs. Tina Smith with Build a Wall. Welcome to Moments on Waiting.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm so excited. When I heard about you, I was like, I have to have you on my show.
Great.
You're doing a great thing. And
Thank you.
yes, and this topic is so dear to my heart because, I mean, so many young people are getting pregnant.
Mhm.
Do you have any statistics about how many young girls are pregnant?
When we did our stats back in 2012, I think Memphis, Tennessee was like number 4 in the United States in teenage pregnancy, and then at one point in 2009 we were number 1 in infant mortality. So that shows us that we got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to then start this organization?
In 2007, this is the ministry part. I was driving down the street. I had, as a young girl, dealt with a lot of difficult situations in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was sexually molested as a child. So that left me with a lot of, sexual feelings that I could not express to people, couldn't talk about it. And so I was driving down the street in 2007 and I started thinking about my life. And I started thinking about what can I do to give back to other young girls, because God had came in and just changed my life tremendously. I went from being promiscuous to keeping myself, through Jesus Christ, through the blood of the Lord. And then I married a wonderful man and had children, and so I wanted to give back. And so as I was driving down the street, Song of Solomon chapter 8 verses 8 and 9 came to me, and it talks about if she be a wall is a virgin. Then it says that we are to build up on her a palace of silver. That means that we are to put whatever we can in place to help her to maintain her virginity until she marries. And it's not just up to the mother, but it's up to the community, you, me, educators, whatever we can do to just make her feel confident about being a virgin, that it's not a taboo to be a virgin. And then it says if she be a door, we're enclosing with boards of cedar. Well, a door, you think about it, you have to open it and close it. So a door is a young girl that has lost her virginity or maybe even had a baby out of wedlock. Then our job is to put things in place so that she won't make that mistake again. Not to beat up on her, not to make her feel bad, but what we try to do is encourage her. You can come up from this. That doesn't mean you have to drop out of school. You don't have to belittle yourself, but we try to make sure she stays in school. She gets the proper counseling. She goes to the proper parenting classes to prepare her to be a good mother. So Build a Wall is something that I know the Lord gave to me. I feel like it has helped a lot of young girls because I needed that back when I was a young girl. Had I had that, I wouldn't have made a lot of mistakes that I made.
Wow. So you said you started it in
2007. Mm-hmm.
Now, it's community-based, so you started it in the school system?
I was already working with Wooddale Middle School, and so I incorporated that program along with the after-school program. I started with Wooddale Middle School, and then the principal at that time, Mr. Williams from Kirby High School approached me, and we went into Kirby High School, and then from there it grew. So we take children from schools, recommendations, parents call us, counselors call us, churches, just whoever. Our age limits we're from age 7 to 18. So anybody that meets that category, whoever, if you're referred, sometimes parents will refer them, neighbors will refer them. They'll come and say, hey, we got 3 young girls that live next door to y'all. They off the chain. Y'all need to come and try to put a program together to help them. So.
Wow. So they're not specific requirements, just only if they fall in that age range.
Age 7 to 18.
Okay. What about boys? You don't have any boys?
We don't have any. It's an all-girls program, but there are a lot of good programs out there for boys. But this happens to be a program called Build a Wall, because Build a Wall says we have a little sister that has no breast? What should we do for her when she's spoken for? So it's simply saying that it's up to us to put things in place before she starts developing. We don't wait until she gets older. You know, you can't do it, but you won't be as effective. So what we try to do is start when the young girl is age 7, and then of course we break them up into different groups, because there are some things you can talk about with a 16-year-old that you can't talk about with a 7-year-old. So we make it age appropriate, but we start at age 7, and just my calling is with the girls.
Okay, so what do the girls tell the boys? Because you know the boys will probably try to get them to have sex. So do they say, well, I'm part of a program, or no?
Well, we do. When we meet every last Saturday of the month.
Okay.
A lot of our activities are role playing.
Okay.
And we'll set up different scenarios where the girl is left maybe in the company of a young man, and we teach her how to handle herself.
Okay.
We talk about loving yourself so that the young man cannot influence you more than the words of your mother or your father. So we do a whole lot of role playing so that they are prepared. We teach dating, but we teach group dating. You know, when you go on a date, you don't go by yourself.
That's right.
You're never put in a position where you're at home by yourself with him. Those are the kind of things that we teach, because we do realize that we are in 2014. This is a new age, and you can't just say, well, don't date.
Right.
You know, so you have to put certain things in place. And then even when they get home, we found out that the highest time that they get pregnant is after school, during the holidays, you know, the Christmas holidays, especially Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Those are the high times they have a tendency to get pregnant. So we try to put things in place that they're involved in after school activities, that they're never at home when an adult is not there. And then during Valentine's and Christmas, you know, we really stress that just because he buys you a gift, don't mean you have to give him your gift.
That's right.
So we're always stressing that.
Wow, and that's how I was raised, really, to just keep yourself into marriage, and that it is like a special gift that you are giving your husband, and that no one else has seen it or they don't know, you know, and that's what I think, if we could teach the young girls that they are special. Because even when people are little, you know how you're telling them, oh, now let us know if someone has molested you or looked at you funny or touched. So we're teaching them then that it's private. Your parts are private. So all of a sudden now you're dating and you're letting everybody who's not your husband see your private parts. So it is good. Now, how do you involve the parents?
The parents are encouraged to attend the sessions.
Okay.
We have like a retreat every year. Once a year we go on a retreat, and we have the parents to come in, and we do a lot of activities with the parents where the parents are not allowed to say anything. But the young girl can talk about sex, whatever she wants to, for 5 minutes without mom even opening her mouth. And then we set the rule too, that you cannot judge her after she leaves this room. If she tells you that she has had sex, then you're not to beat up on her. But we do a lot of different role playing with the parents as well, teaching the parents how to communicate. We keep open lines of communication with the parents, that they're welcome to call us if they need some advice. We refer you to counseling. So we've got a lot of involvement with the parents.
Oh, that is awesome. So how many girls do you have in your program?
We have about 200, but we've got about 110 that are active.
Wow. And so what are the schools?
Wooddale, Kirby, and then we've got other various schools. Most of them, a lot of other girls make up, you know, come from different churches or different referrals. So yeah, we've got them all the way from St. Mary's to Northside, to Westwood, to Germantown. So we're just all over the place.
Wow. So if one were interested, how would they contact you? Just go on the website?
You can go on the website. You can contact us via Facebook, or you can call us. Can I give the number out?
Yes.
Area code 901-362-6022. And you can tell them that you're interested in putting your daughter in the Build a Wall program, and we'll call you back and we'll get all that set up.
Wow. Now tell me this. I've always heard about purity balls. What is a purity ball?
The purity ball is after you've attended all those sessions, been on those retreats. Another thing we do, we go to Spelman College every year.
Okay.
That's to encourage them that they can be successful. It's nothing wrong with being a beautician, but we want you to own the beauty shop. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a nurse, but we want you to push to be a doctor. So we take them to Spelman so they can see other black professional women that are doctors and lawyers. And so that encourages them. We've had a lot of young girls that were not interested in going to college. Then once we do that tour, hey, I can do that. So, but once you attend all those sessions and you're actively involved, at the end of the year, we reward you. We have a big ball called the Build a Wall Purity Ball, where they put on the long dresses and the tiaras and the gloves, and we do this formal ceremony because what you've accomplished is major. God has allowed you to keep yourself for a whole year, so we want to reward you at the end of the year. And so then they'll put on the big ball gowns and the gloves, tiara, and then there's a signing of the wall, which is a sacred, you can just feel the presence of God. They'll go and they'll sign the wall, making a declaration that I pledge to keep myself. But we look forward to, we've had to date about 100 or so girls that participate every year.
Wow.
With that ball.
Now, do the fathers give them away?
The fathers don't, and the reason why we don't do that is because we don't want that to be a crutch to that young girl. Like a lot of young girls are in single parent homes,
Right.
and so when there's not that male figure there, they feel like they're missing out on something. We want to show them, God can be your mother and your father, so we don't allow the fathers to give them away, but the fathers can attend the ceremony and watch them and be involved. But
Okay.
yeah.
So, do most of the girls keep the pledge, or have you had some girls to come back
Oh,
and say,
wow.
I messed up?
We've had a few,
Okay.
but to God be the glory.
Yes.
We've been in existence since 2007, and to glorification of God, we've only had 4 girls to get pregnant out of the whole program. So I mean, it works. We teach them that you can maintain your virginity through salvation, and then by actively being involved, and then we create an open forum that they can just talk. If you feel like having sex, you can call me up and say, Miss Smith, I love Tommy. I want to have sex with Tommy. Can you talk me through this thing? And then we set them up to be peers with one another.
Right.
And so they call each other, say, girl, my mama getting ready to leave tonight. I'm being home by myself. And so the peer will encourage them, well, now you don't want to be at home by yourself. So those are the kind of things that we got in place to kind of keep up with them and to kind of keep reiterating to them, that you're special, you can maintain it. And then even if you slip up, it's not the end of the world. God is a merciful God.
Right.
He's a redeemer. Doesn't make you a bad person. But let's straighten that up, put something else in place so that you won't fall again.
Wow. So we talked about the spiritual side of waiting. What are some natural benefits to waiting until marriage?
You don't have to worry about having a baby out of wedlock. You keep yourself from diseases, and then there's some emotional scars. Song of Solomon talks about don't stir it up, don't wake it up, my love. Because there comes a lot of emotional scars, and so when you don't do that, you avoid a lot of unnecessary problems in life, and then you're able to mature according to your age. When you start having sex and you're not ready to have sex, your mind is a whole different ballpark than the average young girl's mind, because I've talked to girls that had sex, they thinking like they're 16, but they act like they're 25. But we know that they're not 25, and that mindset is not 25. So you just open yourself up to a whole different world that you're not really ready to be a part of yet.
Are some of the girls shy, or are they pretty open when they join your?
Shy, because
Yeah.
it's not something that they're used to talking about.
Right.
But once they attend a couple of months, they're fine, But it's talking about sex. I don't know, for whatever reason, in the black community, it's just a big taboo, even for young girls that are pregnant. When I sit down and talk to them, they start laughing and snickling. And I'm like, what you laughing for? If you were able to have sex, then you should be able to talk about it.
Right.
But I understand, too, that it's something that in the black community we've kept it in darkness for so long, and we haven't set an atmosphere that's conducive to us really making them feel free to talk about sex,
Right.
or wanting to have sex, or being involved in relationships. And so that's one thing that Build a Wall is trying to push as well, allowing the community, especially the black church. It's okay to talk about sex,
Right.
You need to talk about sex,
Right.
because That's the biggest problem too. We have a lot of young girls in the churches. They're getting pregnant because mom is quick to say, not my daughter. You know, and when you're saying not my daughter and you're not talking to her, educating her, then that's when she'll end up doing something that she shouldn't be doing.
Wow. So do you have any parent testimonies? Like, you know, after their child has gone through the program, that they've told you how it's been a blessing to even them and their child?
I have. I attended Kirby High School's graduation about 2 years ago. And just to hear all the parents, I think it was like 10 parents, to say, I just want to thank you because my daughter made it. And I know they weren't just talking about the high school. They were talking about made it as far as keeping herself and maintaining her virginity. And they were just proud because we try to paint the community as that all young girls are getting pregnant, all young girls are sleeping around, but that's not the case. Even in some communities that are hard pressed, if you just step in and be a counselor to that young girl, you just don't know what impact you're going to have on her life.
That's right. Wow. Well, that is so awesome. Now, I want to bring two young ladies from your organization, and they're going to share with us their journey. You know, with Build a Wall. So what are their names?
Ayanna Martin and Caitlin Speed.
Okay, so now we're about to take a short break and we will bring back those young ladies.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Growing up a girl sometimes makes me sad. They don't understand me and it makes me mad. I found my place and learned more about me every day at Girls Inc. I'm strong, smart, and bold in every way. So we're gonna try. We are more than words define. We're gonna try.
Girls Inc. changes lives. To find out more, visit girlsincsrq.org.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Welcome back to Moments on Waiting, where our topic is waiting until marriage. So we have Build a Wall Ministries, and now we would love to talk to two of the young ladies who are part of that community organization. So we have Ayanna Martin and Caitlin Speed. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Ayanna, you can start.
Well, I'm a senior at St. Mary's Episcopal School. I joined Build a Wall about 5 years ago, and I got involved in the program because I first attended New Life, so I found out about it through ministry. And Build a Wall for me has been a very amazing journey. Build a Wall has allowed me to attend St. Mary's and to be going to Vanderbilt in the fall is a huge accomplishment. Personally, I feel like Build a Wall has taught me so much in light of having sex before marriage is not a norm, as is portrayed in the media and in music, and even concerning some of my friends. And I'm kind of the pioneer of the group, like, no, that's not right, that's not the right way. And, you know, oftentimes, usually they get mad, but at the end of the day, you know, I feel like this is the most important part of my journey, coming from a single parent home. I've seen how hard it is to raise a child by yourself, and I don't want to make that mistake. And I feel like Build a Wall has taught me that it's possible, through the love of Jesus Christ, that even without a father figure, that the Lord is all that and can be all that for you. And so I'm really grateful. And as far as you asked about the guys and how they respond to you taking a stand for purity, that sort of thing. And I mean, for me, it's kind of like either you accept it or you don't. You know, that's just, it just is what it is, because it's pledge that I make at the end of the year. at the annual purity ball is between me and God, and I feel like that's one of the most sacred things that I could possibly do, and I can't take it back, so I feel kind of a responsibility to uphold that throughout the year. And Sister Smith always makes herself available when challenges present themselves. She always makes herself available to talk, to be that mentor and that guide every step of the way, and I'm just grateful for that.
Wow. So do the guys stay, or do they say they understand, or?
Well, I haven't had that many encounters.
Okay,
so
okay.
I don't deal with that many different reactions. So.
Okay, so you don't really date a lot yet, and that's good. You should be in your schoolwork right now. You said you are a senior?
Yes.
Okay, well that's good. Well, Miss Caitlin, tell us about yourself.
Well, I attend Germantown High School. I'm a junior. I started Build a Wall when it first started. Build a Wall means a lot to me, not only because as an individual, it helped me to know that there's more in life, there's more to life, and I can achieve anything that I want to be. And it just teach me to value myself at an early age. And my friends, they're accepted because I introduce my friends to Build a Wall, and they'll be like they want to come to Build a Wall and whatnot. And it really opens your relationship with your mom. With your mom, and if you can't talk to your mom, I can talk to Miss Smith, and even when I'm going through, or I can talk to Ayana because she really has been a lot too as well. As far as school and getting my head together, but it's really been a great opportunity for me, and I really enjoyed it.
So you got a mouthpiece for Build a Wall. You tell all your other friends to be a part of it. That is, and you've been in it how long?
Since it
Started. So 2000. So they can continue no matter what. Wow, and you've been involved in it.
For 5 years.
So 5 years. Wow. So when they go to college, can they still?
We still continue to keep up with them.
So it's like a close-knit family,
It
basically,
is.
and a mentorship program, and really an accountability type system. That is so awesome, young ladies. Thank you for sharing your testimony. So I want you, Mrs. Smith, to now tell the viewers 3 points or tips that they can do while they're waiting to have sex until marriage. What can they do? Number 1.
The first thing I encourage any young girl is to get involved in school activities. Don't just come home and sit around, but you got to keep yourself involved. If not in school activities, then church activities, but do something. I often encourage them to explore who you are. What you should, by the time you go to college, you should know if you like music, art, dance, or whatever. So that's the first step, is being involved in, or even volunteering, but doing something to help you to identify who you are. And then the second thing, I encourage each young girl to find you a mentor, mother figure. If you can't speak with your mother, then somebody that you can talk to confide in, to kind of, when you're having those moments, or when you're feeling insecure, or when you want to, or when you're in doubt if he's trying to prove his love to you and want you to be intimate with him, find somebody you can talk to and get those feelings out and talk about them. And then the third thing I challenge you is to get involved with Christ. Give your life to Christ, so that he can help guide you while you're waiting, to make the proper decisions, and to get involved in your local church or your local ministry, but do something to help your spirituality. I often tell people, when people tell me that what statistics show, that programs like these don't work, I say, well, I beg to differ. Anything that Christ is involved in, it works. Right. It takes a lot of determination, a lot of encouraging. I'm not just the only counselor. We've got other counselors that work with these young girls to help them do problem solving, to talk with the parents. We have accountability. Okay, it's Friday night. What you gonna do tonight? And then we just believe that it's just up to all of us, you, me, everybody pitching in to just kind of help her to find herself, find her way, not to make her feel bad, but to make her feel good, find the good, positive things that are on the inside of that young lady and push her. And then while you're waiting, realize that God has him for you. But you got to believe God, and you got to set some standards and some values for yourself. Our young girls these days, they're not setting any values. Anything go. you know. But I often tell them, people respond to you how you are. If you don't see yourself as being valuable, then Mr. Unvaluable is going to come to you and approach you. But if you set standards for yourself, and while you're waiting, then you can look for your prince, your king, your doctor, your lawyer, whoever you want. God will send that person to you.
Wow. Now, if the person, say, is unchurched, how will they, and they don't put God in their waiting period, what can they do? They will still have an accountability partner, a mentor. What else can they do until they do find Christ while they're waiting, like naturally?
I believe I'm often with the older girls that are about 21, I do believe that you need to get out there and be actively on the scene. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that you need to confine yourself to the house and say, and so I encourage as a single woman to go and find single activities. We're always encouraging that. I deal with some other 23, 24. They'll go to the movies together. You know, they do a lot of different things to kind of at least be there so he can at least see you. You know, you can't, sometimes he's not coming to church, you know. He may be in a grocery store. He may be at the movie theater. So, you know, kind of do those little things. Just get out there. But when I say get out there, now I ain't talking about get out there. But I mean, get out there in a responsible place and just put yourself out there. And he'll find you.
And even for older women, not necessarily teenagers, but older women are waiting and they are marrying later because they're into their careers. So again, they need to be probably in co-ed groups, fun activities, and singles ministry, all kinds of things.
And then you have to love where you are. And I'm often telling the older single women, if you don't love where you are as a single woman, then being married is not going to do it for you. So you have to master that first. Love means, when I was single, I enjoyed it. I would go on trips with my girlfriends. We travel. We go on cruises. So I encourage you to, you know, get involved with. Essence has an excellent cruise. You can get involved with those type of things, and you know, the social scene, and you know, while you're waiting, it's a lot to do.
This has been really awesome, Mrs. Smith.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell people about your organization.
Thank you.
So tell them again what it is and how can they contact you.
Okay, Build a Wall is a community program for young girls ages 7 through 18. You can call me, Tina Smith, 901-362-6022, or you can Facebook us. We're on Facebook. We're in the schools, so just give us a call. But we invite parents, community, anybody, make a referral, and we would love to work with that young girl.
Yes, and thank you, ladies, Miss Ayana and Caitlin, for coming on the show, Moments on Waiting.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for tuning in to Moments on Waiting. I'm Dr. Danita Hedgeman, and I will see you on next week.